Somebody cut this for the show. Advice for people first time at their job. 2 pieces of very important advice. Number 1, always fight for your boss and for your company, not the other side. It just comes off the wrong way when you're arguing the enemies or the partner's side of it. You're supposed to be arguing our side of it and how to save us money and get us a better deal. Number 2, never leave the office without going and saying goodbye to your boss. You always go to your boss and say, hey boss, I'm taking off for the night, for the day, whatever. Anything I can help, or you need any help with anything, because I'm going to take off. Just want to make sure everything's cool.
Absolutely.
I always did that. Every job I've had, I went to my boss. Number 1, I never left.
Courtesy.
Courtesy.
We don't leave before the boss. Typically.
What is that rule? Never leave.
You just said, don't leave before your boss.
Well, that's my number 1 rule, but I know people, young people are such screw-ups today. I know I sound like an old guy, but young people, I mean, you're an exception, I think.
Not that young.
Whatever. I mean, people of your generation, people under 30 years. You're under 30, right?
I am 30.
You're 30, okay. So 30 and under. Let me explain to you something about dedication and loyalty, something that Army guys know and Marines know. It's just like implicit. You have to bust ass and you have to, like, fight to the death for your boss and your company. And it doesn't feel like this young generation, this massive sense of entitlement, has this idea that that's what they're supposed to do. Never leave work before if you want to be successful in life, do not leave your office before your boss unless your mom died or your grandma died. And even in that case, go to your boss and say, you know what? My grandma's dead. She got hit by a bus. Is it okay if I leave to go to the hospital? I mean, I know we got a lot going on. I'll stay and I'll see grandma at the funeral if necessary. But is it okay if I go? You should not leave before your boss. I never left before my boss. My boss has always loved me and promoted me like ridiculously. And I always, if I did maybe have to leave before my boss for something urgent, I come up and say, hey boss, I gotta go. I got a thing. Really sorry, but you need anything? Because I'm going to take off. I hate these people who like sneak out the side door and like don't say goodbye. I mean, it just sends the wrong message. Everybody understands you might have to go. Nobody's going to begrudge you going to your yoga class or whatever you're doing. That's less important than work.
It's yoga and spin.
Yeah, do your yoga. I can see that line.
Call it Yaz.
Always ask your boss, is there anything I can do? I mean, am I right, guys, or am I out of line?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We have a really good team at Ustream.
Yes.
That's a non-issue. Brad and I are really lucky.
So they're out there. The good people are out there. You just
I know,
gotta
but even good
find.
people, I find, like, even sometimes good people do stupid things. Like, they just don't understand, like, the proper way to make your boss feel that you care about. You know, like, it's just like little technique things that I wish I could do a course.
Like life lessons.
Life lessons.
Business
I wish
life
I'm gonna make like a checklist for people, like, on the occasion of your first job. Like, here are the things you don't do. Don't tell your boss that you're smoking weed. That is not a good thing to do.
That's a bad thing. Yes.
No, somebody did that. Literally told me that people were going to smoke pot, and I was like, what?
Really?
Who told you that?
Wow.
I don't want to bring it. I'll talk to you after the show. I'll tell you after the show. Somebody told me after work, when we were going out for drinks one time, I said, where are these people? They were just with us. I think they went to smoke some weed.
Really?
And I was like, do you realize, I took the person aside, I said, I know that it's like legal in California to smoke weed if you got the thing or whatever, or whatever it is.
Unless you got glaucoma.
Whatever. I mean, I'm going to sit here and argue with somebody because they have anxiety and they use weed instead of taking some pharmaceutical drug. Honestly, I don't care. If you smoke weed or, you know, eat a cookie or whatever and it makes you a better code, or I'd rather you don't do it during work, but I mean, people take anxiety pills during work. If that makes them code better, I'm, you know, whatever. However, you don't tell your boss on the way to an outing that people are, I mean, first of all, you're ratting out your coworkers. Number two, which is not cool. Number two, you have to respect me as a boss and understand that if I know there's drug abuse going on, I have to fire the person.
Yep.
I mean, knucklehead, hello. I mean, but I think the problem is people think weed is alcohol now, and it's just nothing to be ashamed of, or whatever.
Make this a segment of the show. I like it. I mean,
just how to behave at work.
To do at work. Yeah, exactly.
You guys ever have anybody do anything stupid, like in this company or previous companies? Like, you're just like, I can't believe a young person did what?
Of course.
Think of one. How about this one? This is another one. Somebody said to me, oh, you know, I'm leaving the company. I was like, oh, wow, I'm really sorry that you're going, whatever, da, da, da. And, so when's your last day? Friday. I'm like, today's Wednesday. Yeah. They're like, yeah, they want me to start Monday. I'm like, really? You You're going to leave the company for after 2 years here, stock options and everything, with 2 days' notice.
Yeah.
And your excuse is the company you're going to needs you to start Monday? What about the company that's been paying you for the last 2 years and been loyal to you, and you learned everything you learned to get that other job from that company? Let me give you one piece of advice, people at home. Any company that makes you screw your previous employer is not worth going to work for. Anybody comes to me and says, I can't start for 3 weeks because I got a thing from my company, I can't leave them in the lurch. You know what I say? Good. I like that. You're loyal to your boss. Then that means you're not going to do it to me. You send the wrong impression, the last impression out the door, it's going to follow you. You're going to look bad. Don't do that. 2 weeks is the minimum. You should offer 3 or 4 weeks. You should say, I would like to finish in 2 weeks. If I can't, and you need me for 3, I understand.
Oh, is that how it sort of, I always thought of 2 weeks as like industry standard.
2 weeks is the bare minimum. That is the minimum.
Oh, okay.
But why wouldn't you offer your boss the 3rd week out of respect? You're a boss now. You got people working for you.
I have one.
Okay, let me
We
hear.
actually
On
had
your
somebody
first-
starting on Monday.
I know.
We gave 2 weeks. We needed 2 weeks.
Which is fine. What are you going to get upset about that?
No, I said great.
Perfect.
See you in 2 weeks.
Right.
On your first day of your job, if you're in a company meeting, strategy session, or
Right.
weekly, don't talk and bring
I like
up
that
like
one.
you're
Yes.
smart or like you have
Yes.
some great idea. On your first day, don't talk
Right.
too much.
Yeah.
And probably in your first 30 days, learn, analyze them. 15 days at least.
We had somebody like
before,
that here.
you don't have all the answers.
We've had a couple of those people.
That's one that drives me crazy.
Yeah, it's just listening. People aren't good with the, just sit and sort of take it all in and process.
If you go to
and
a-
then you'll come up with.
Let's say you
idea.
get invited to a dinner party. It's a book club or a dinner party. It occurs every week. Been occurring for 3 years. And you go for the first time. What do? You just lay back and like, what's the vibe here?
Exactly.
You know, oh, let me tell you what I did at work today. And oh, anybody want to buy some Avon? Like that's a great one. I mean, that is a good rule. We need to get a top 10 list of top 10 things to not look like an ass in your new job.
Also applying for jobs, because now that I'm looking through resumes, there's a lot of people who just lack the what to send in that first email and how to introduce yourself. And
how about when it
people really
says
need training on that.
Let me explain something to you. If it says send a cover letter and your resume, and you send just your resume, what a guy like me does is hits the delete key. I will not even consider it if you cannot understand that I need a cover letter, and I write cover letter and resume. And sometimes I write cover letter with the following in it. If you don't answer those questions, what the hell kind of job are you going to do when you get here?
Yeah. I'll delete those two. I'll admit
And
that.
it's just
Right?
absolutely
You delete them or?
Oh yeah. Oh no.
No cover letter deleted.
I've gotten a lot of resumes over the last few weeks with no cover letter. at all.
Delete.
It's like, you're not giving me a compelling reason to open this email.
The first 5 minutes of like your initial phone interview are the most critical. I can within the first 5 minutes, and maybe this is right or wrong, but I kind of get a sense of what I think about this person in the first
Blink.
5 minutes.
It's classic Blink, like Malcolm Gladwell's book. Like we'll do that as a homework assignment at some point on Audible. But I mean, yeah, just
That's real. Because this is the first time I've really dug in and done a whole sort of hiring process myself.
Right.
And just seeing, I'm shocked. I'm literally shocked at the quality of the resumes and the cover letters and the care, the lack thereof that people are putting in.
Well, how about this? I mean, obviously spelling errors on your resume, it's
spelling,
like whatever.
grammar,
but
just
what does it
awful.
cost you to have somebody proof your cover letter? Like you have a friend or use a spell check or
And
something.
the idea is you're sending this out to a lot of people.
Unbelievable.
It pays to invest the time once
Yes.
to get it really good, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Here is something that drives me crazy. When you worked somewhere and you put 2007 to 2009 and you don't put the month, you put 2007, 2008 and you don't put the month, I think funny business.
I do too.
I think November to February, you lasted 4 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
Put the month. I mean, show some respect. And if you were at a place for 10 months, be honest about why you were, because I'm going to call your references.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just people
Yeah.
are.
So that, I think, whole separate but great podcast.
We have to
would
do a
be
whole podcast around
how to apply for a job and then rules for employees once you have one.
how about how not to be a schmuck.
It's the same.
That's basically what we're talking about. This is a great show.